Hello and welcome to the second part of my sessions here, and in this part we'll be tackling the train yard levels. So yes, another extreme sports trope where you go into a level you really shouldn't be allowed to. But hey, I guess we'd rather have you doing it in a video game than real life. And this area here, it's sort of grungy and a bit grungy, of course. A far cry from the greenery scenery we saw before. Now, as you can see here, I'm playing as Dave Mirra, and I've now equipped his alternate costume, which is just his professional contest gear with a helmet. Yeah, speaking of which, you should be always wearing your helmet when you do extreme sports, fellas. And yeah, when it comes to the costumes in this game, there isn't really that many. There's a few comical characters, but as you can see, you just get this sort of professional gear you got here. Which is a shame, because I think a lot of extreme sports games at the time at least had a custom character feature. And yeah, again, not to be too critical about this game, but I have to be honest here. But something I do notice is that there are no NPCs walking around the level. And this was on the PS2/GameCube, so yeah, they did have the technology to do that. And by the way, I love the sound effects of these crates here. It does remind me of Crash Bandicoot. In fact, the sort of sound they make is probably the same stock sound effect. And we're going this way because apparently I do want to go to the fish market. And I also did fail at the gaps here. You see, when recording this, there's a slight pressure on me to get every trick perfect, or at least, you know, not to mess up more times than I should. Well, on this level, the one condition I had was to just show for me jumping over the train, which I just did, so there you go. Of course, being the sort of train level, there are lots of rails to grind upon. And this section here kind of puzzles me, because shouldn't there be something in that building? But, oh well. Speaking of which, I said before, this environment seems like a place where you shouldn't really be doing extreme sports. Yeah, you see, I'm magic. I can go through glass and not break it. But I guess that's to get some variety. Like, you wouldn't want to play an entire game where all the environments were just designated extreme sports parks. You know, you want some variety. You want to skating places where you normally wouldn't be allowed to. Walk like that. Now the soundtrack of this game, oh by the way, if you want to hear a non-commentary version of this, yeah, I for one wouldn't do that, because licensed music kind of gets banned on YouTube, or at least your video might be taken down, or it might be muted. So yep, unfortunately there is a reason why I'm doing a commentary version of this. Yeah, which is an issue you'll probably get with all extreme sports games. Now, speaking of the soundtrack, again, like other games in this genre, it does have a collection of pop hits. Pop hits, or popular music tracks, I should say. Such as Paranoid by Black Sabbath. It Makes No Difference by Sum 41, and She Sells Sanctuary by, I want to say, The Cult. But I could be remembering that wrong. Well, also something you discover with the session tracks is that each level starts with the same track of music each time you play it. Well, unless you start again. So essentially, I guess what I'm saying is it could have used a random feature where you get a different track selected by random. You know, that would give you more variety. But anyway, speaking of this level, it's really fun. It's fun to play off all the train tracks. And the trains, of course. This sort of a roof section here is always fun to go through. And it is nice to play sort of a sort of grungy environmental level. You know, there are lots of browns here. You know, more browns than a modern day shooter, but it's pretty good. But luckily, the next level after this, we see a bit more greenery, I would say. And look, I love this sort of replay feature here, because even the most mundane move looks epic in sort of slow motion or matrix effect. Next thing of other extreme sports games, I've mentioned the Tony Hawk series, but another game I would like to do would be aggressive inline. But the thing is, after being burnt by getting the PS2 version of this game, I wouldn't want to buy like the PS2 version of that game and find out that version is also missing a few good levels. And to keep harping on about it, it is a shame because the Venice level is really good in this game. I really like it, and it's interesting to an original. But that's enough of me moaning.